let's start an argument. Hello, this is Gisele with Let's Start an Argument, brought to you by Lever Brothers Limited, makers of Surf, the suds that take a lot of the work out of wash day. This show is always open for a good argument, and don't forget the prize. $5 and a giant box of Surf goes to everyone whose arguments are used on the show, and our Daily Double pays double this prize. Yesterday, remember, we left you to argue the question sent in by Mrs. G.R. Archer of Peterborough, Ontario. Whether men or women wore the first high-heeled shoes. Well, believe it or not, we have men to thank for introducing this fashion. When James I came to the throne of England, the well-dressed courtier was wearing high heels and immense roses on his shoes. And while we're on the subject of shoes, here's another note. There weren't any right or left shoes until near the end of the 18th century. They were all made on the same last. Well, that sends $10 and 2 giant packages of Surf to Mrs. G.R. Archer of Peterborough, Ontario. And when you get that Surf, Mrs. Archer, you'll be set for the sweetest washes you've ever had. Scientific tests, you know, have shown that Surf actually gets out more dirt and grease than any other leading wash day suds. Gets clothes so clean you can smell the difference. Now for today's arguments. You know, if you have a practical joker in the family, he'll probably be sitting up late tonight trying to plan some jokes for the 1st of April, only 2 days away. Well, Mrs. Bert Dickens of Kelowna, B.C. wants to argue about why the 1st of April is called April Fool's Day. Why is one particular day set aside for practical jokes? Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So if it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, you know. It's raining violets, and when you see clouds upon the hills, you soon will see crowds of daffodils. So keep on looking for a bluebird and listening for his song. Whenever April showers come along. Many explanations have been offered for the custom of playing practical jokes on the 1st of April, but none of them agree. However, it's supposed to have something to do with the spring equinox. For centuries, the people of India have been celebrating a certain feast on the 31st of March by sending people on foolish errands. Early settlers brought the custom to this country from England. It's observed chiefly by small boys, although their elders sometimes can't resist the temptation. Well, thanks, Mrs. Dickens of Kelowna, B.C. You win $5 and a giant box of Surf. Surf sets a whole new standard of cleanliness. Gets clothes really deep down sweet and clean. Your nose as well as your eyes will tell you when a wash is Surf clean, it's really clean. Now let's go back to high school days and see if we can remember what English poet wrote one of his greatest poems when he was blind. That's our second argument, sent in by Miss Evelyn Doss of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Who was it anyway? Browning, Tennyson, Milton, or Matthew Arnold? The poem begins, "When I consider how my life is spent, ere half my days, by yon bonny banks and by yon the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond, where me and my true love wherever want to gay, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Oh, you'll take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore ye, but me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. John Milton is the great English poet who went blind at the height of his career and took the calamity greatly to heart. His famous sonnet, On His Blindness, is usually found in high school poetry texts. It has that much-quoted last line, "They also serve who only stand and wait." This argument sends $5 and a giant box of surf to Miss Evelyn Doss of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. If you've never tried surf before, Miss Doss, prepare for a pleasant surprise. Here's a suds that's as gentle to hands and to fabrics as it's tough on dirt. Here's a little 8-year-old boy, Merv Schermacher of Lac La Biche, Alberta, who'd like to argue about where the ravens go in the summertime. Merv says he sees them in the winter, but not in the summer. Maybe the ravens don't like summer weather. A little bird told me that you love me, and I believe that you do. This little bird also told me I was falling, falling for no one but you. There's no use denying, I might as well confess, of all the boys I know, dear, I'm sure I love you best. A little bird told me we'd be happy, and I believe that you do. A little bird told me we'll be married, and I believe that it's true. This little bird told me when we marry, we'll have a pretty cottage not too far, all fenced in like a movie star. A Great Dane pup, we'll call him Ace, lying there by the fireplace. A goldfish pond and a wishing well, everything is gonna be just swell. A little bird told me we'll be happy, and I believe that you do. And now I know that you do. In June it's bound to come true. Well, Merv, there are probably 2 reasons why you don't see your ravens in the summertime. Our northern ravens don't care much for heat and are liable to stick close to the cool retreat in the cliffs where they're busy raising a family. Those ravens of yours are somewhere nearby because the raven doesn't go south and sticks pretty close to the spot where he was born. That sends $5 and a giant package of surf to Merv Schermacher of Lac La Biche, Alberta. Laboratory tests show that surf, even without rinsing, actually gets out more dirt, the kind you can see, and also invisible dirt, grease and scum. Because it gets out this hidden dirt that other suds leave in your clothes, it gets your washes sweeter by far than any other leading wash day suds. You can smell the difference, so try it and see. Does your family like to argue about everything under the sun? Well, that's what we do on this program, and every argument we use is worth $5 and a giant package of surf to the sender. We double this prize for the Daily Double, so let's hear from you. In the case where 2 people are backing the same argument, We use the first letter we open, and all letters open become the property of this program. I'm sorry, but we can't acknowledge your letters. Well, let's get on with our arguments. All winter long, amateur gardeners have been consulting their seed catalogs, and Mrs. Russell Rogers of London, Ontario, has a problem for the gardeners. She says that her gladiola bulbs have been changing color from year to year, from yellow to purple, for instance, and she wants to know what causes this. She says she tags the bulbs in the fall when she digs them up. Pin a flower to your clothes, give a treat to your nose. You're in style when you wear a boutonniere. Boutonniere, boutonniere, boutonniere. You're in style when you wear a boutonniere. Be prepared to tip your hat. You make friends just like that. People smile when you wear a boutonniere. Boutonniere, boutonniere, boutonniere. People smile when you wear a boutonniere. Remember, you can make a rose or gladiola stem look better than a gem in your lapel. A red geranium or a chrysanthemum can even make a bum look like a swell. If you're longing to be kissed and the girl should resist, I insist that you wear a boutonniere. Boutonniere, boutonniere, boutonniere. I insist that you wear a boutonniere. Remember, you can make a rose or gladiola stem look better than a gem in your lapel. A red geranium or a chrysanthemum can even make a bum look like a swell. If you're longing to be kissed and the girl should resist, I insist that you wear a boutonniere. Boutonniere, boutonniere, boutonniere. I insist that you wear a boutonniere. Yes, why don't you wear a boutonniere? Well, Mrs. Rogers, the experts say there's only 1 in 1,000 chances that a bulb will actually change color. Next fall, in order to really be sure, they advise you to tag the gladiolas while they are in full bloom so that there'll be no chance of a mistake. That sends $5 and a giant box of surf to Mrs. Russell Rogers of London, Ontario. Women everywhere are switching to surf for washes that are not only whiter than ever, brighter than ever, but sweeter too. Yes, even when you have to dry your wash indoors, you'll notice the wonderful fresh air sweetness surf gives your wash. The sunshine freshness that means every trace of dirt and scum is gone. Now here's our Daily Double, and it's from Mrs. Neil MacDonald of Souris East, Prince Edward Island. Can a wife legally endorse her husband's name to a check? I wonder. Well, that's the argument we're leaving with you until Monday, when we'll be back again. Let's Start an Argument is brought to you Monday through Friday by Lever Brothers Limited, makers of Surf, the suds that gets clothes sweet and clean. For every argument used on this transcribed broadcast, the sender wins $5 and a giant box of Surf, or double the prize for the Daily Double. Now, this is Gisele saying goodbye for now. I'll be back Monday, same time, same station, with Let's Start an Argument.